to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, take my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. With joy and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 28th Annual Tribute to Women and Industry Awards celebration, virtual style. But our respect for this year's honorees is not virtual at all. It's very real. I'm Dave Self, Chief Administrative Officer of St. Luke's Health System, and am privileged to serve as President of the Board of Directors of the WCA. And on behalf of the board, congratulations to this year's Twin Award recipients. To help our community continue its progress to tame the COVID-19 pandemic, the WCA decided to hold this very special event virtually again this year. Yet somehow, our celebration of this year's Twin honorees feels more meaningful and inspiring than ever. For 28 years, the Twin Awards have celebrated women who've both excelled in and had a positive impact on their professions and our world. It's also an opportunity to acknowledge the companies who've actively recognized, celebrated, and supported their work and accomplishments. Twin Award recipients step up, challenge themselves, and through their success, become an inspiration to others in ways they often do not realize. Among my colleagues at St. Luke's are nearly 70 past Twin Award recipients, and each day they serve as outstanding role models for our entire team. And as WCA Board President, it is a true privilege to support both the amazing WCA team and to serve on a board of true community leaders, each of whom is an energizer and inspirer. Today, please know that the entire WCA team and board is inspired by and proudly celebrating the more than 1,000 past Twin Award recipients along with this year's honorees. There are 38 companies participating in Twin this year. And through their participation, we can recognize you, the Twin honorees, for stepping up, stepping out, and becoming a leader in your organizations. Congratulations. Please join me in thanking these 38 companies for their commitment to their team members and our community. And remember that supporting these organizations supports the health of our communities. A special shout out to our Corporate Pillars Manager, Lisa Ullman, another energizer and inspirer who helped make this virtual event possible. One benefit of virtual celebrations is unlimited seating capacity. I hope all the new twins have taken advantage of this virtual environment Lisa created to invite friends and relatives and colleagues to celebrate you today, not just from your neighborhood, but from around the country and even around the world. And to the entire WCA staff who work tirelessly every day to provide safety, healing, and freedom to clients, thank you. The Board of Directors is so grateful for your passion and dedication. And finally, I want to do a heartfelt thank you to the board members themselves for your incredible support and dedication to the WCA's mission of safety, healing, and freedom. Through the significant challenges of the past year, participation and engagement has been steady and strong. You are an amazing group of leaders, and it's a privilege to serve alongside you. Now it's my honor to introduce a very special partner and supporter of the WCA, Citi. Citi is this year's presenting sponsor and a WCA partner in freedom. Citi has supported the work of the WCA for over a decade with in-kind donations, financial support, and volunteers, including my friend, Laura Cobb, who has served as WCA board president and remains a member of the board of directors. It is my privilege to introduce our honorary committee chair, Laura Cobb, Citi's vice president of public relations. On behalf of the WCA board, Laura and Citi, the WCA sincerely appreciates your sponsorship and engagement.
Thank you, Dave. I would also like to congratulate each of the 2021 Twin honorees being recognized today. Thank you for being influential leaders in your families, your organization, and your communities. You are the embodiment of female empowerment. In your daily lives, you balance many responsibilities and embrace a fluidity of self-confidence, humility, empathy, poise, and of course, humor into your lives and the lives of others. You are truly inspired leaders, and Citi is honored to be the event sponsor of Twin and to be recognizing you with this prestigious award. In its 28th year, Twin now has an alumni group of Forever Twins, numbering close to 1,150 honorees. I am a Forever Twin, and I personally feel a great sense of pride to have the opportunity to serve on the WCA Board of Directors and to work for a company who has supported the WCA for more than 15 years. During this time, Citi has recognized 36 top-performing female leaders as twins. This was a momentous year for our bank and our industry. My colleagues and I in Meridian and across the globe stood proudly as Jane Frazier, Citigroup's new Chief Executive Officer, took the helm in March as the first female in history to lead a major U.S. bank, ushering in a new era on Wall Street. And now I'd like to introduce Steve Tennyson, the Director of Operations for Citi in Meridian. Steve has been with the company for 27 years and is a passionate advocate for the advancement of women, both personally and professionally. He's received some pretty solid advice over the years from his wife, 3 daughters, and the women leaders he supports at Citi.
Thank you, Laura. And you're not kidding. My wife, daughters, my grandmother, who had 15 children, and female colleagues have been some of my best mentors. I want to congratulate all of the 2021 Twin honorees. The diversity of your work and individual accomplishments are outstanding, and we are excited to honor and celebrate you today. I'm Steve Tennyson, Director of Operations at Citi in Meridian. It's my honor to serve as honorary chair of this year's Women's and Children's Alliance Tribute to Women in Industry Award. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our twins, Missy Hampton, Amy Erdman, and Abby Krenning. These women exemplify this award at the highest level and are shining stars in our organization. When women step out, take risks, and are willing to share their professional and personal journeys, they are inspirational to others in ways they don't even often realize. Citi is a leader in supporting and promoting women. Jane Frazier, Citigroup's first female CEO, who Laura mentioned, began in her historic role on March the 1st, the start of Women's History Month. Citi has been leading the way for women's empowerment for a long time. 4 years ago, we were the first bank to disclose our adjusted and raw pay gaps between men and women. These disclosures hold us accountable for the progress we want to make in being a more diverse and inclusive company. Since 2006, Citi has proudly supported the WCA and their mission of providing safety and healing for those seeking freedom from domestic violence. In these unprecedented times, the work of the WCA is as relevant and as critical as ever been in their 111-year history in the Treasure Valley. With 76% of our colleagues at the Meridian Operations Site being female, our partnership with the WCA is more than a way to engage in the community. It's demonstrated action that shows our female colleagues that abusive situations can't and won't be tolerated. I want to personally thank Be Black and the entire team at the WCA for advocating for the safety of women and providing unduplicated services across the board. We are grateful for your steadfast leadership. Congratulations again to all of the 2021 Twin honorees for being on their own unique path to greatness and for mentoring those who are following in their footsteps. We wish you many more years of success.
Thank you, Laura, Steve, and City for your support of the WCA. Laura, we appreciate your work serving as honorary committee chair and your creativity as we put together yet another virtual twin event. I'm pretty sure that the virtual cooking class that our 2021 twins were able to participate in ranks as one of the highlights of this year's celebration. I'm Bea Black, privileged to be the CEO of the WCA, and so pleased to be here today to congratulate this year's twins. As Dave said earlier, today is your special day. It is a day that we, along with your coworkers, friends, and family, celebrate you. It is also a day that we acknowledge the support that we receive from so many organizations throughout this community that make our work possible. This year, we are very pleased to recognize 23 companies as 2021 Partners in Freedom. These 23 organizations are responsible for over $230,000 in monetary and in-kind contributions this year alone, and help ensure that we can provide essential services to our clients at no cost. Services like safe shelter, counseling, case management, to meet our mission of safety, healing, and freedom from domestic abuse and sexual assault. To recognize the wonderful contribution each of these organizations has made, we have put together a short slide presentation highlighting them. In addition to these 23 freedom level corporate pillars, we have 14 healing level corporate pillars, 14 safety level corporate pillars, and 5 business partners. You can find complete lists in your twin book and on our website. Each of these organizations has received a special recognition plaque along with our heartfelt gratitude. They help make our work possible. It is now my great pleasure to invite Mayor McLean to say a few words.
Hi, I want to congratulate this year's Twin Award winners and thank the Women and Children's Alliance for the long partnership that we truly value and appreciate with the City of Boise. For so many years, in fact 111 years, the WCA has served this community in ways that are incredibly important. And together with the city, we so value the partnership that ensures that we're taking care of people in our community at their darkest times and ensuring that everyone feels safe when they need to feel safe. So thanks so much for all you do. Congratulations once again. And I really think it's right this time when I say next year we'll be able to celebrate together.
Thank you, Mayor McLean. Thank you for your remarks and for being part of this second virtual twin event. You have been such a good sport to make time to attend this event virtually with us, and I'm hoping you will actually be able to attend this event in person with us next year. Well, now we come to the time the twins have been waiting for. It is time to recognize each of our 2021 twins. North by Northwest has provided us with the wonderful videos of twin interviews you're about to see. The way it works is that each twin was asked to answer 6 questions, and then as North by Northwest put the video together, they selected one answer from each twin to put into the video. This means it is always a surprise for each twin to see which response makes it into the video. Mayor McLean, for this special part of the program, I wonder if you would do us the honor of reading each question that comes at the beginning of each section.
Of course, thanks, Bea. Who inspires you to live your best life?
I would say that I am inspired by all of my fellow humans. My work is in the built environment, which is something that we all experience in our day-to-day lives, and my goal is to have a positive impact on that environment any way I can. I want people to feel comfortable, safe, happy, enriched, and just generally supported by the spaces that they're in. That's very important to me, so just inspired by the people who are going to be using the spaces that I'm working on. I'm also inspired by the environment. Our planet is so beautiful and there's so much to get out and see and learn about and appreciate. So those are my 2 main inspirations.
My dad inspired me to live my best life. He unexpectedly passed away about 1.5 years ago, which is really hard for us, but looking back at the life that he lived, he always lived it so fully. He traveled the world. He was a great grandpa. He was an awesome father, a great mentor to my husband, to friends. He was such a kind, generous, caring person that really lived every day to the fullest. And I think I look at that often and think, what can I do in my life to be better, to live my life more fully, to give back to others? And so I think my dad left a pretty good legacy.
So it reminds me of my stepdad. He passed away about 5 years ago. His name was Roy, and he was alive up until the point where he passed away. And he gave me lots of advice. So he was so motivated. He was my favorite person. So first piece of advice he gave me was be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So put yourself in all kinds of situations, whether it be professionally, personally, put yourself in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable and get comfortable with that, and that will make you grow.
My daughters inspire me to live my best life. I know that they watch me in everything I do, and in my mind, anything I do outside of my home doesn't mean a lot unless I have taught my daughters how to be successful, compassionate young women. And so that is my drive, to make sure that I teach them well how to be good role models.
So I thought long and hard about this question, and I would actually say the kids who come into Idaho Youth Ranch programs like Hayes House, our youth shelter, inspire me to lead my best life. They have very traumatic situations that they're in, and they come into our shelter and they're trying to better their self and make a better life for themselves, and they represent true resilience.
Define a great leader. What are some traits you think great leaders possess?
A great leader is somebody who is fair, they're approachable, they make time for their people, they're going to work side by side with you, and ultimately you can trust them, and they're there to see you succeed as much as they want to succeed themselves.
A great leader listens to their employees. They have insight. They are able to manage a team and lead them and help them grow and promote growth within the company.
A great leader is passionate and motivated. They understand and they believe in you. They lead with integrity and honesty while pushing you to do your very best.
The ones who have inspired me in my career are the ones who have integrity, who listen, communicate well, and inspire you, are passionate about the work that you do and allow you to do that work and grow.
I think a great leader is open-minded and communicative. I think it's really important that not that you know everything or you're the right answer all the time, but you're willing to engage in dialogue and challenge the boundary. I think the leaders I have worked for that have helped me be the most successful have just really pushed me to the edge but not allowed me to fall over, and I value that, and I try to do that for my group also.
So for me, a great leader obviously has vision, but I think more importantly leads with courage, has authenticity, integrity, and humility, and inspires others to reach for more, and understands that in order to be respected, they have to be respectful.
I think it's somebody that it really challenges your perspective, even when you think that you have it right. And you need somebody to make you think about something differently, to take a pause and see if there's something that you haven't considered before. And in order to do that, you really have to have a trusting relationship and rapport with a leader to be able to do that. And you have to be able to be yourself and to be honest. And so to have, for a leader that can cultivate that type of a relationship is really foundational to me as far as an example of a good leader.
The WCA's mission is safety, healing, and freedom. What does safety mean to you?
Safety to me is a place that is comfortable, a place that is full of support and no judgment. A safe place is somewhere that you can be you and always feel comfortable.
Safety means to me just being able to be yourself and have those values that you hold true to yourself, and just being able to express that and not being held back from that, and then just having that overwhelming feeling of being safe, right? Of physically being safe, being able to go and do and just be able to live a life that is not full of restrictions.
Safe is away from harm or hurt, so safety would be a place where someone could put their guard down, relax, feel like they're at home, and free from any abuse or fear or hurt.
Well, I'm a young mom. I have 3 young children, and so I think safety relating to the WCA can be the same or different than maybe even how I see it in my home. But certainly as safety allows you to be vulnerable and to go out and make mistakes and have a safety net to come home and for it to be okay. And the clients of the WCA, they don't always have that in their home. And so safety is being able to have that, but also having to know where your safety net is. If it's not at home, where will it be? And the WCA provides that.
Certainly this past year, I think, has created for many in different ways maybe a renewed importance on safety. And I think all of us who've lived through this past year will look back at this time with different memories of the things that we did to keep our family safe, keep our coworkers and employees safe, and just keep the community around us safe. And so again, I think safety has a whole new meaning after this past year.
To me, safety means being able to be self-sufficient. That might seem like kind of a strange answer, but my first marriage was not good, and I ended up being at rock bottom for choices I did not make, other than getting married. And knowing that you can come up from that and heal and also make something of yourself, to me, is safety.
Safety is when someone can be in an environment where they can thrive. And I think of a good quote that says, if a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment, not the flower. And I think of at the WCA how they create that safe environment and then give individuals the skills and capabilities to thrive.
There's all levels of abuse, and so often we just think that it's a physical violence. The people that I work with, especially victims and witnesses and children and families, they should be able to live free of any level of abuse and to feel safe in this community. And not just when they're out and about, but in their own homes. When the kids go to school, they should be safe there. When a parent goes to work, they should feel safe when they're in their workplace, that their significant other or their estranged partner is not going to show up. And I take my job very seriously in helping bring that feeling of safety to that victim or to the family, in that they know the services in the community, like the WCA, what is available to them and the services in order for them to get to that point that they do feel safe again.
Do you have a funny story about something that happened to you in your work that stayed with you or taught you a lesson?
My current boss moved here as a Latinx man from El Paso, Texas. His first day in Boise, Idaho, he met me at the doors of the bank at 7 a.m. He will tell you that's the first time I've been at work that early in the morning. I will tell you I've had many early mornings after raising 3 kids. But what we learned that day in meeting at the door in the morning for his first visit in Boise, Idaho, was that he realized how different he looked from a leader, as most leaders in downtown Boise do. So, by being there and welcoming him, he was able to sit down, get started on his job, and it didn't matter that he looked different from everyone else because he was welcomed with open arms. And I think that's one of the most important lessons I've learned, is that if we're welcoming and open to one another, we can all sit down and get our jobs done.
After I did an event for St. Luke's, the Twilight Criterium, on a day that was 107 degrees, and I was downtown for 10 to 11 hours straight, I was so hot when I got home that I jumped in the pool and my skull felt hot to the touch. And I thought, I think the lesson there is that I can get through anything if I can spend 11 hours in 107 degree heat. There wasn't much that I couldn't handle after that.
I really don't have a story. That is funny. I was in a meeting earlier last week with one of the HB high executives, and I said, I think the executives at HB Boise want to run away from me because I'm usually asking for funds for activities that we could do at work, because I'm really involved with the employee resource groups, which HB calls employee business impact groups. So usually I say, hey, can you sponsor a pizza luncheon? Hey, would you sponsor this and that? And because I'm involved in various groups, I go to different executives to ask for money. So it's just like, I feel like the executives at HB, when they see me, they're like, there's Antonina, run, she's gonna ask me for money.
So, it's not a funny story. Excuse me, but it's one that really resonates with me. I was still working on the retail side of the bank, and my son was 2, and he had gotten sick. So I took him to the doctor that morning and found out it was pneumonia. So I called my boss, and I says, I told him what's going on, and my boss instantly said, well, sounds like you're gonna be out the rest of the week. And I'm like, no, well, maybe my mom, maybe I can, and he cuts me off and he says, no, it sounds like you're gonna be out the rest of the week. He says, this building will still be here. The customers will still be here, but you need to take care of your son and your family. And I still get chills a little bit every time I think about that. It just, it reminded me that we work to live, we don't live to work. And even now, more so, trying to find that work-life balance is huge. But really, when it comes to it, family's first, and that's why we do what we do.
When I started out as a graphic artist and I had to make a sign for the Twin Falls County Fair, and it was supposed to say 1 spin per person per day. But they wanted it translated into Spanish, so I got someone in the office to do the translation. Did the sign, sent it down to the fair, and they put it out. And unfortunately, the sign said 1 grandma per spin per day. So, yeah. So the lesson there, I mean, I think is, you know, obviously always have other people check your work. But I think the bigger thing is, you shouldn't be afraid to laugh at yourself. And everybody makes mistakes, and it's really what you do after you make the mistake that matters most. And I don't think I've ever met a person that hasn't made a mistake. Just some mistakes are funnier than others, so.
Some of the best wit and wisdom I get from my older patients. I have a lot of patients that are in their 80s and 90s, and some stories stick with you for longer. One of them is a lady in her late 90s. I had to admit her to the intensive care unit because of her heart beating too fast and too irregular. And as I was talking to her and explaining to her what was going on, she all of a sudden looked at me and she said, "Now I know I won't die." And you know, I was quite reassured by the fact, and but surprised too at the same time. So I asked her to tell me a little bit more about what made her so reassured, and that, you know, I was hoping certainly for the same. She said, "You taught me something. I learned something, and every day you learn something, you don't die." And that really sort of resonated with me. Within that was, like, I think some wisdom of, like, you know, having a sort of a learner's mindset, an open mind, and just impressed me, and yeah, just made my day.
In my first few days with Albertsons, I was a deli clerk. I was in college, and my store manager came over to have a conversation with me and just to talk to me. And he was just talking to me about what my life was and what I wanted to do, and we spent a little time together. And he asked me at that point whether or not I had ever tried head cheese. I was like, no. And he said, well, I need to know if it's salty. And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, well, what may be salty to me may not be salty to you, so let me give you a sample and let you try it. And he started laughing, just thought it was the funniest thing ever, but he said, you're going to be great in customer service because you think about other people first.
How do you find strength when you're going through hard times?
I think I go back to, what inspires me. Like, if I'm going through hardship, I just think about, how I'm gonna push through it and inspire my kids, my family, my coworkers, whatever that may be. Just dig down inside to find whatever I can to push through.
When I've come across hardships in the past, I've drawn my strength from focusing on something positive. It could be as small as writing one thing I'm thankful about per day, or finding one thing that brings me joy. I also find exercise helps, so that kind of can bring your mood up, or finding an activity that I enjoy doing. and also focusing on things that that I can control and not that are out of my control.
Removing yourself again from that problem and seeing it from a different angle. If you are, say, in a ballroom and you're dancing and you're only seeing the person next to you, you've got that really limited vision of what's going on around you. But if you are to remove yourself and go on up to the balcony and look down, you can see the whole dance floor and everything that's happening before you from a different perspective. So I think if we approach life and problems that way, they become a little bit easier.
I rely on my support system. I have a husband of 20 years, I have my 2 girls. I rely on them to help carry me. I have my breakdown moments and then I pick myself back up and say, I can do this, we're going to get through this. Again, showing that example to my children that life is going to throw many different things at you, and it's how you accept those things and how you overcome those challenges.
My family is really a big one, and during the pandemic, I kind of noticed how much strength I draw from them, because we had times when we were trying to be safe, and you separate, even though we're all here in town. It was Mother's Day or my mom's birthday, and it was so strange, to not be with them on that day. And when we finally could be together again, it was like I go to counseling, and my counselor told me, "You feel grounded," and I was like, "I've been with my family." It's so grounding and such strength I draw from them.
There are many things that I find that help me in difficult times, my faith being one of them, family, the support and connecting with friends, good self-care, which for me comes in the form of rest, good nutrition, and exercise, which for me I enjoy running and yoga and other activities that I enjoy. And also the support I get at work from the network of colleagues that I have that I can team with.
Finding strength in hardship is, to me, it all comes back to your mindset. And when you have a positive mindset, when you are filling your tank with positive things, with empowering things, and learning whatever your craft is, learning about people, learning about everything and pouring that into your mind, overcoming hardship is, how do I put it? When your tank is fuller, if you have a bad day or if you have a bad year, if you have a crazy COVID year, and your tank is fuller, it helps you go through it. Also, having positive mindset, in my opinion, helps you affect others. So if other people around you are going through hardship or other people around you are having a really hard time, you can help uplift them and help just be that sounding board for them when they need it.
What does receiving the Twin Award mean to you?
So I would say the Twin Award to me is, it's an honor to be able to be connected to a group of women that have been in such strong leadership positions in the community and done such amazing work. It's kind of just acknowledging and celebrating for a moment all of the strength and compassion and wisdom that women kind of bring to the community.
Gosh, well, I'm honored to
be a part of an incredible group of women. I understand it to be a very large group of women, which is great. And I think it's a real honor to be associated with the WCA. They do incredible work. And I'm glad to get the chance to learn more about what they do and participate in any small way in the mission they serve.
So I am extremely honored, especially to be alongside of these amazing women. I was on the call the other day and everyone was just so amazing. I was just like, oh my gosh, like little old me, like what, like, you know what I mean? I'm extremely excited to be a part of this. But also that I was actually recognized for my leadership. Like I feel really accomplished by it.
For myself, I'm very proud. Have fought through, generational abuse, and I've won. And I hope that my daughter is inspired. I hope that I inspire women that are on my team. I hope that they continue to fight the fight and to know that they can become leaders and that they can make a difference in their community. And it just really shows the hard work that I've done that someone has noticed, other than just myself, just a very big sense of pride.
Aside from being completely humbled and honored, for me, life is about making a difference, no matter how big or small. And so it's a really amazing feeling to know that my company saw something in me, that they feel like I belong with all of these amazing women in the Treasure Valley. So it's pretty spectacular, if I have to be honest.
I just wanted to say that, it just gives me hope kind of for our state and our community to know that there's all of these strong and passionate women holding these, leadership roles throughout the state and throughout the community. It gives me hope going into the future that I know that there's all these women that now I can kind of count in my network that I would never have had the opportunity to meet without receiving the Twin Award.
It's just so much of an honor to receive that award. And I guess what it means to me is, I've been on a leadership journey, as a female leader my whole life. So the recognition that I actually have made some strides in that area, it's personally and professionally important to me. But I also think it has another piece. I hope it serves as an inspiration for other emerging leaders, to give them something to think about and aspire to in leadership. And when I think about the core values of the organization for the WCA, it just really resonates with me and my own personal core values. So I just can't express enough what an honor it really is.
I just think this is a great award that's a tribute to women. It's a word we don't often use these days, a tribute. And women are so amazing in all the things they do. They try to be and do everything for everyone with very, very little time set aside for acknowledgement. They've been taking on more and more challenges and receiving more opportunities. Receiving the Twin Award made me think about the sheer determination and the potential and the ability of women, and that the future is very bright because we're getting more and more responsibilities and yet more and more challenges that are facing us every day. And I think it's a reconciliation as you move forward about your life. How does the mix work out? I really appreciate the fact that WCA has offered a tribute to women in industry.
Wasn't that great? Thank you, Mayor McLean, for your help. We can now say that our twins number 1,146. Thank you to North by Northwest for a great video. Honorees, given the virtual world we live in, you can now share a video of this special celebratory event with anyone just by forwarding a link courtesy of North by Northwest Studios. I want to thank each and every one of you watching today, in particular our corporate pillars and business partners. Your support goes a long way. It not only allows us to host this amazing event, it helps fund our services, which have, unfortunately, been more important now than ever. Home is not safe for everyone. That has been our message since the stay-at-home and social distancing orders were enacted in order to flatten the curve of the pandemic in our community. As a result, we saw an 84% increase in the number of calls to our hotlines related to domestic abuse and an almost five-fold increase in the number of emergency intakes into our shelter from 2019 to 2020. We could not be here for those calling on us if it were not for the support of our community, and specifically our corporate pillars and business partners. I want to thank Laura Cobb, Steve Tennyson, and City once again for their support of this year's Twin program. The creative and fun gift they provided for each twin, along with their support as our honorary event chair, has been invaluable. For many years, we made the presentation of the Joyce Stein Award part of this special event. Starting this year, we will be celebrating that on a separate date in August. This award is the highest award that the WCA gives, and it is given by our board of directors in recognition of work done to support the well-being of women in our community. It's not too soon to start thinking of someone you think deserving of this recognition. Information about how to nominate someone will become available in April, so stay tuned for more information about this very special award. Just as many service organizations wear their club pins every day, I invite all twins to wear their pins proudly. It is one way to instantly create a connection between leaders in our community and the work that the WCA does to empower women. Before we close the program, we have a special surprise for all of you. Joining us today in celebrating you is a 2019 twin and local performing artist, Lida Neustetter. We are so grateful to her for sharing the gift of her talent with us.
Hi there. We are proud to be a part of this event helping support the Women and Children's Alliance. You know, for a lot of people, home is not a safe place, and COVID-19 has made a lot of people have to be in their homes when otherwise they would have had support networks and places they could go, friends they could see. And there are a lot of people who are stuck in situations that are unhealthy and unsafe. And the need for the services provided by the Women and Children's Alliance has skyrocketed and will continue to be even more urgent as we move our way through this pandemic. So we are happy to be supporting them at this event.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't see the fighter, but I see it in you, and we're gonna walk it out and we'll move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains, and we'll rise up, rise like the day, rise up, rise unafraid, we'll rise up, we'll do it together now, for you, for you. Silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise you we'll get the world to its feet and move mountains. get the world to its feet and move mountains. And we'll rise up, rise like the day, rise up, rise unafraid, we'll rise up, we'll do it together now. We'll rise up, high like a wave, rise up, despite of the ache, we'll rise up, we'll do it together now. For you, for you, for you. Together now, we'll do it together now. We will rise, we'll rise. We'll rise up, rise like the day, rise up. Rise unafraid, we'll rise up, we'll do it together now. Rise up, high like a wave, rise up, despite of the ache, rise up, and do it together now. We'll do it together now.
Finally, I want to close by giving you an update on two of our unique twin honorees. 2016 twin honoree Sunday and 2020 twin honoree Bella. Hopefully they will leave you with a smile on your face. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your day.
Hello everyone, Kristen with Retired Facility Dog Sunday here. Just wanted to hop on and give you a little update about what we've been up to. Sunday is thoroughly enjoying this season of her life in her retirement. During the day, she gets to go over to Grandpa and Grandma's house and rest and relax all day long while I'm at work. She really enjoys that. She gets lots and lots of loves. And in the evening, she enjoys spending time with current facility dog, Yuko. And the bond that they share is certainly very special and very fun to watch. Wishing you all well and congratulations, twin recipients. We'll talk to you later.